Hey there, it's Matt, one of the maintainers of Ollama. I wanted to introduce you to the Chat API endpoint. One of our goals has always been to make the best tool for users and developers working with AI. So the main way to generate an answer from a model has always been the generate endpoint. If you don't yet have Ollama, you can find it at ollama.ai. Click the download button and install it. You'll get a CLI UI and a server that responds on a set of RESTful endpoints. Let's take a look at the role endpoints. I'm using the REST client plugin from Ollama. I've probably butchered the name, but the plugin is amazing. I can put in the URL, which is usually http://localhost:11.434/API/generate. To use it, you post a JSON body with at least a model name and the prompt. And the output is either a stream of JSON blobs, one for each token in the output, or a single blob with everything. For this example, I'm streaming, so here are all the JSON blobs with a response that is the latest token. The last blob you get has the metrics about the generation, as well as the context as an embedding, which is an array of numbers. That context can then be fed to the next call of the generate endpoint to provide continuity and history. As a result, history is really easy to deal with, but that comes at a cost of not being very flexible and very different from how other tools work. So we added a chat endpoint as well. You have to make sure you're on version 0.1.14 of Ollama to see this. For this example, I'll enter the URL, which is http://localhost:11.434/API/chat. And now I can provide the body, which is the model, and messages. Messages is an array of objects. Now, each object has a role, which can be a user or an assistant or system, and the content is the prompt or the answer. Sending this gets me the stream of JSON blobs again, but this time instead of seeing a response, I see a message in each one. So let's apply this to a simple application. Here's my app that I can run. I'll just use the command npm start to start it up. Now I can press enter to quit, and I've chosen to show you the entire history formatted as the messages array. So let's take a quick look at the code. There's a bit here about getting user input and running our loop, but then we put the input into a message and pass that to the chat function. My chat function spits out the answer as a message, and I push that to the messages array, and then it repeats. So let's look at the chat function. This makes a request to the endpoint. I get a reader and cycle through the stream of responses. For each one, I get the content of the message and spit it out. I also add it to the full content so far. Finally, I output the full message, and that's really it. The Python version is pretty much the same thing. I have a loop that takes input and then add that to a message and send all the messages to the chat function. That function outputs a message to the list of messages, and I repeat. The chat function makes a call to the endpoint, passing the model and the messages, and then I cycle through all the responses, pulling out the content of each message, which gets added to the output and printed to the screen. The full message then gets returned to the main function. And that's it. You can see that working with the chat endpoint is easy, but maybe a touch more work than the generate endpoint. That extra work comes with the benefit of being able to do more with the history. For instance, you can decide to keep the last 5 messages in full and summarize anything older. Or maybe you keep any short messages and summarize the outputs with more than 100 words. Some folks are finding that it allows alternate techniques like chain of thought prompting to be easier. I think all of that is pretty cool. I can't wait to see what you do with it, and hope you will share it with us in our Discord, which you can find at discord.gg/Ollama. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.